Hey guys, thanks for tuning into Long Island Wargaming. This is game one of Crossroads GT for the fall, and this is a targets of opportunity scenario where we pick out different targets that we're going to try to track down and get extra victory points for. I'm going to be up against Lizardmen, and it is a familiar list that you might have seen in your GT circuit, or even on different battle reports between Anthony and Malorian and Once Bitten, because this guy goes to all the different GTs. So if you haven't done this already, I recommend getting in on it just for some fun. The previous video I have is a matchup teaser. It shows you the different armies I'm playing along with the lists that my opponent have. And you can just list which games you think I'm going to win or lose, and then I'll throw it into the video and we'll see how you do. So across the board here we have all wins from Skaven in AZ, Daniel Furbush, James Valdez, and the Warriors Vault. So these guys all have high expectations for me to take down these Lizardmen. So again, previous video, the matchup teaser. Let me know what you think, and then I will put that in the next video. So this is the deployment picture that everyone based I was going to win this game on. Across the board from top left to right, we've got the Pterodons, we have Salamander, we've got a cohort unit, Source Warriors, and then three Ancient Stegs. Another cohort with the Slan in the unit. He's on the outside of the unit right behind the building, and then another unit of Pterodons. So this deployment I'm not entirely happy with. You never know where anything's going to go when you're doing deployment, and this is how it ended up. I've got my two help hits up against these Stegs, which is going to be a huge gamble because he's going to have that impact hits +1 with the D3 multiple wounds if I fail my regen, so they're in a position where they're already lined up to get destroyed. If it was up to me, I also would have had the Storm Vermin to the left side and have some slaves more to the right. This way I can just plug up the monsters and whatnot and have the Storm Vermin sweep around the flank from left to right, killing the Pterodons, the Salamander, and then that cohort unit. Because these are really small units of infantry. It's really the Stegs I gotta watch out for. So I don't have a shot of my magic card, so it's just a mix of Plague and Ruin between the level 2 and level 4. My opponent does have the signature spells from all 8 lores on his Slan. So my opponent puts down his three targets of opportunity, one in rare is the Hell Pit, one in special, which is the Plague Monks, and then one in core, which is the Giant Rats. I go ahead and nominate Salamander for rare, I think Salamanders are, and then the hero, and then the Source Warriors unit. The Source Warriors hero is actually on a cold one, so he'll be able to charge out if he wants to. But I figured, hey, I gotta kill this block of infantry. If I do that, then I'm probably gonna try to kill the hero too. And the Salamander, that teardrop template hitting any of my units of infantry is going to hurt it. So I need to like warp lightning this guy off the battlefield or slingshot him with the gutter runners when they come on. So my opponent rolls up for turn 1. So after vanguards and moves, the Pterodons end up on my flank over here to the left, and the other unit over here on my right flank. So we go ahead and do movement for the Lizardmen, and not too much of a movement phase. The Salamander goes ahead and just runs away so he can prevent me from getting the points, which is, well played. Oh, and the cohorts move into the fortress with the Slan. So nothing really goes down in his turn, so we move on into my turn 1. This is the first one-on-one game I have actually playing this list. Not that this is an excuse, but this is some really, really shitty movement, if I must say. Rat darts. The two left are rat darts. I don't know what I'm doing with them. The one to the right is just kind of preventing me from getting two Stegs charged on me, so I think that's a good maneuver. But yeah, no, not really doing too hot right now. So my level 2 engineer goes ahead and irresistible forces warp lightning, killing a bunch of slaves. And I only managed to do 2 wounds onto this target of opportunity, so the salamander is still running around. So Lizardmen Turn 2, the first major legitimate error on my behalf is not dropping the storm banner here. First off, I didn't really think there's any dangerous shooting right at this very moment because the salamander is so far away, but these double barrel blowpipe things on the Stegs I just wasn't anticipating. Plus, if you watch my battle reports, you don't see I don't play Lizardmen very often, so I don't know their potential. So he goes ahead on into the shooting phase and just unloads these barrels into the freaking hell pit. And I think they're poison shots or whatever, but either way, this guy is just down. So that's it really for his turn. So we go into Skaven Turn 2. The Hell Pit does not make it in, which is upsetting. So I do have to do some funky business with the Rat Darts again. So I got the Rat Dart to the right, just kind of screening the Hell Pit. Plague Monks unfortunately can't get up enough to prevent the the stegs from doing anything. And I don't really know what I'm doing with the second giant rat darts to the left here. The one in the middle should have gone further right to prevent that hero from charging out of the unit if he wishes to do so. And I'm kind of anticipating him charging my rat darts to kind of clear off some chaff. If he does so, maybe he'll overrun into the storm vermin, and everything will be on my terms in terms of magic and counter charges and stuff. But yeah. A bunch of my heroes rearrange themselves and fall back from the bunker unit into the slaves just because I don't feel like getting the pterodons in there and end up screwing me. So the bunker unit's only 20 guys. So the Doom Rocket goes ahead and knocks off a rank of warriors. And then we head right into Lizardmen Turn 3. So we got a fast-moving game here. I don't make the mistake again. I drop the Storm Batter. And since shooting is no longer efficient, we get a charge by the hero and the stag into the Hell Pit Abomination. And I guess he dies on impact, unfortunately, so that happens. It also helps that he had Whiston's Wild Form on him for that extra strength. But a little bit of Skaven cheese at the end of the turn, this Hell Pit Abomination comes back, which ends up working out in my favor. He doesn't overrun with the warrior or the stag, which is also, I think, a good idea because he probably would have hit the storm vermin, and that probably would have been a fight he didn't want with the one single hero. Over here, the plague monks just get lit up. So Skaven Turn 3, I go ahead with the Hell Pit and do a charge onto the middle of the two stags in hopes that I can kill it on impact, overrun, and hit the Salamander and pick up some points with that target of opportunity. The Bonebreaker Lord charges out of the Storm Vermin into that unit of warriors because I figured, you know what, he could definitely take him, no problem. I also have to charge in with the Rat Dart to get him out of the way so that he could do that, which unfortunately feeds him some combat res, but we'll see how that goes. And the Rat Dart to the left should have charged the cohorts, so he got out of the way, but I keep thinking he's going to charge me, and he doesn't, because I'm thinking the slaves can, take him pretty easily. So I got Plague off here, so I kill a whole bunch of skinks, which is great. Unfortunately, no hop, because I was kind of hoping we got to jump over to the Source Warriors. Yeah, they're toughness 4, but you know what? I would kill a couple of rats now in Magic, so my giant rats would die, and I wouldn't have to worry about them dying in combat, and the Bonebreaker Lord with his ward save and his high toughness wouldn't be an issue. In combat, the Hell Pit Abomination breaks that stag, which is wonderful. No panic tests, unfortunately, and his overrun was shit. It was really, really bad because honestly, I needed like a 9 to get the freaking Salamander, and I roll like a 7 or 6, so I'm going to get shot up by whatever. Probably skinks from the building or some magic. So to the left, only one rat from the Rat Dart dies, and the Bonebreaker takes no wounds, but he doesn't do as much damage as I was hoping from his like 11 attacks. So I do end up losing the combat here. The Bonebreaker Lord ends up staying, which is great, but the Rat Dart flees, which ends up being an issue, and I kind of wish it was just dead because now we've got these pterodons in the backfield, and we move on into Lizardmen Turn 4. And the pterodons go ahead and issue a charge onto these fleeing rats, so what do? I have to go ahead and flee. And they end up right here in front of my freaking Stormvermin, which is going to choke me up for a turn. And you can see that we also have the Cold One hero and the other stag run into these freaking Plague Monks, so they're going to be screwed. So these pterodons go and try to track down the bunker unit. And here's the battlefield. You can see that the cohorts still have not charged the Rat Dart, so he's playing it smart, which means I'm going to have to eventually just get the Rat Dart out of the way. And the Bonebreaker Lord is fighting the Source Warriors solo. And the Hell Pit is taken out by some magic. I know Fireball, and there's another signature spell that's got flaming effects. They end up killing him, which is fine, because you know what? I was on borrowed time with that Hell Pit, because he did come back to life. But he could have killed that freaking Salamander and scored me so many points. And where the hell are the freaking Gutter Runners? Jeez. And we kill the Plague Monks, and we're ready to come and destroy the Storm Vermin. This is going to be wonderful. So, the Bonebreaker starts doing some damage, finally. That's good. Oh, and the Gutter Runners must have heard me. They show up finally, and they move into close range. And I will spoil it now. Between 9 Gutter Runners, 18 poison slingshots, I still can't kill this one Salamander that's got 1 wound left on him. So he's still freaking running around. I can't issue a charge with my Storm Vermin, unfortunately, because the Rat Dart, which is fleeing now beyond the Stegodons, was in the way. If he wasn't in the frickin' way, I could have charged and probably killed the hero I don't know if I would have killed the hero because my Bonebreaker Lord's on there. But you know what? Maybe at least broke him in combat res. I do have the Razor Baton in there. It would have been decent, and then I would have overran into at least one of the stags, which would have prevented more impact hits, or prevent more impact hits. Yeah, but yeah, jeez, I'm not doing a good job here. So the Bonebreaker Lord finally finished his kill in those Source Warriors. He overruns and tracks them down. And Lizardmen Turn 5, a full-on assault onto the Storm Vermin, including a rear charge from the Pterodons, which is interesting. Now I gotta contemplate, was it ever worth removing the Bonebreaker Lore, because those 10 attacks at Strength 5, and then the Storm Vermin for support would have been helpful, but no, these Storm Vermin are fighting by themselves. They're going solo, and yeah, not gonna look good here. So not a good showing for either our magic phases. We don't really get too many spells down. In shooting, we do go ahead and get the Gunner Runners taken off the battlefield, so the Salamander is free to keep running around. And then we go ahead and the Storm Vermin kill a Stegodon. That's beautiful. That's great. So we end up doing a wound to one of the heroes too, but that's better than I was anticipating. So. We also kill two of the flying guys, and one's got a wound left. So luckily I'm stubborn, so I hold. I do go ahead and reform. So my turn 5, I go ahead and move my bunker forward, for God knows what reason. And the slaves finally get in combat with the cohorts, which is nice. The Bonebreaker Lord makes a run towards these combats over here. So then I decide it's time to all in Cloud of Corruption, which would be great against everything, including my own stuff. It would hurt me. I mean, the Bonebreaker Lord could die from it, but you know what? I could kill a stag with no armor, a hero with no armor. I can kill the freaking skinks and the Croxigars over there. And I get it off, and I roll a 1 for the freaking Stegodon, so I don't do any wounds to him. I roll a few hits on the hero, but I don't end up doing enough wounds to kill him, so it was an epic fail for Cloud of Corruption when it really could have won me the game right here. Cohorts die and run away. I catch them with my sleeves, and then we have the freaking level 1 caster running around the backfield. So I'll have to chase him off next turn. And here's combat. My Storm Vermin get wrecked apart. It's terrible. And then he goes ahead and gets some overruns and gets me out of range and vision of the freaking Bonebreaker. So the Bonebreaker can't even do anything on into my turn. And this is the last shot I have here. So this was kind of a really bad showing for the Skaven. I only picked up one of my 3 targets of opportunity. The freaking Salamander, which was the easiest one to kill. Avoided like 2 Warp Lightning shots and like 18 poison slingshots. It was terrible. So I really did disappoint you guys here with good loss for this Skaven. I do walk away with 6 points, so it's not too bad. But a couple misplays, a couple bad runs of luck here. But you know what? It was a good game nonetheless. My opponent was fun, and it was cool to finally get to play against this army because I always see it. I just never get to play against it. So hopefully, hopefully I get some wins in the next couple of games. I promise you I do better than this. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.